Hi everyone, welcome back to the MNS Card channel. My name is Michael. I am a full-time Pokemon seller, and today I'm going to talk about a product that I'm investing in. And I'll talk a little bit about why I chose this product, why I think now is a pretty good time to get into it, and just a little bit about the thought process behind it. And I'll talk about if I think that it's going to be the best investment of 2026. So let's get into it. So to begin, this is the product. It is a Paldea Evolved booster box case. And I'm going to show you on TCG Player why I think that this was a really good pickup. And full transparency, I spent $2,600 on this entire case. That was all in with shipping and fees and everything included. And I did purchase it on a platform that does not charge sales tax, and that is because I am tax exempt. So that also helped save me 10%. I am in Kansas, and our sales tax rate is like 9.75%. So it does save me 10%. So anytime I'm able to buy something that doesn't charge sales tax, I'm a very big fan of that because, I mean, if I'm investing in this product, I don't want to have to make 10% just to break even. So I always try to buy everything that or without sales tax, unless the deal is just so good somewhere that I can charge sales tax and it's still cheaper than where I can get it somewhere else. But yeah, overall, always try to buy stuff without sales tax. So that's a little tip that I have, but let me get you flipped around to look at TCG Player. All right, so like I said, I spent $2,600 on this case overall. And if you come to TCG Player, the lowest listed is $2,840. So, let's see. I bought this a few weeks ago, and when I originally bought it, it did get lost in the USPS for about 2 weeks, which was a little nerve-wracking, but luckily it made it out. So, to show you, I spent $2,600. If I looked at the lowest price on TCG Player right now, is $2,840. I know there's other platforms where you can buy from TCG Player, or there's other platforms besides TCG Player like eBay, but most people use TCG Player for comping prices, so that's just what I'm going to use today. It's a little bit easier to look at than sorting through sold listings. But anyway, so I paid 91.5% of what the lowest listed on TCG Player is. But TCG Player is not a very good website for buyers that don't need sales tax charged. So because this is all going to be intended for resale at some point, I do not plan on taking any of this with me when I'm gone. So it will be sold, and that last person who purchased it should be charged sales tax. So if I were to just have purchased this off a TCG Player, I would have paid $2,840 times 1.0975. I would have paid $31.16. So, I mean, that just shows how crazy the difference is of including sales tax. So, remember, always try to buy without sales tax if you are intending this for resale. It's much more efficient to buy it without sales tax. So remember, always try to do that. TCG Player will going to charge you sales tax no matter what. There are some things that I can do where I can try to reclaim that sales tax from the state. It's a pain, and you have to prove a lot of things. You have to go through contacting TCG Player and them not or saying that they're not going to send you the sales tax reimbursement. It's just a headache. So anyway, yeah, but I was able to buy it for $2,600, which is considerably lower than the $31.16 that I would have had to end up paying to TCG Player. So overall, really happy with the purchase price. Always try to buy below market if you can. I bought it from a platform. I mean, it's an open platform where anyone can buy it. You can look at eBay for auctions, and there's several other platforms out there where you can buy from and that have really good deals. So always be looking if you're going to be looking at this for the long term, where you want to buy it, put it away, and then sell it later on. Hunt for those deals if you can, and especially with something like this where it was a pretty big purchase for me. $2,600 is quite a bit of money to invest into one product. So anytime I'm going to be trying to do that, I always try to find the best price that I possibly can. And you're not always going to find it, but it was at a price point that I felt I was really comfortable with for a case of booster boxes, and I will go into why a little bit more now. So let's go ahead and hide this calculator. So this is what the booster box prices have looked like on TCG Player. Lowest is $460, and you can kind of see what they are selling at right now. So $489, $445, $440, $449. Looks like someone cleared out the ones at $400. So anywhere from about $440 to look like $490. So we'll just take a look. How much would it cost if you were to just go on TCG Player and buy 6 booster boxes, which is what's included in a booster box case? So Got one at 460, another one at 460, 460. So yeah, 460. So we would have had to pay an average of $460 per box. So 460 times 6, again, 2760. And if you look back here at the booster box case, there is a slight premium, which is normal. There should be a slight premium. So the price that I bought it at 2600, I was getting it for under what I could have to buy 6 booster boxes. So at that point, like there's usually a case premium. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, instantly, like this is a pretty good deal for me to pick it up and get the sealed case. And at this point, like buying 6 loose booster boxes is $27.60. That's more than I paid for the entire case. So I was comfortable with the price that I paid. Then come over here and look at what booster packs are selling for. So $10.95, $10.75, $11.20, and realize if you're going to be buying an entire box of booster boxes, you are going to have 36 packs per booster box. So times 6 is you're going to have to be buying 216 packs just to get the amount that I did in this case. And you can look at how many different sellers you're going to have to buy for to get 216 packs. You got 14, 1, 30, 7, 2, 4. You're going to have to be going on to the next page. 37, 4, 1, 2, 2, 1, 18, 16, 15, 5, 20. So there isn't a whole lot of depth in the market on booster packs, which if you, to be fair, come and look at the sell-through rate, you've got on the 23rd, I mean, you sold 5 packs, 3, then no packs on the 21st, 1 pack, 6 packs. And these packs are at the price where over $10, that's a lot of money for a pack of cards. So probably not a whole lot of sell-through rate on just the booster packs, but if you're wanting to buy 216 booster packs, like if you're someone who's rip and chipper, like you can't just come to TCG Player and buy 216 packs very easily. So again, let's just go back to what the lowest price was. So looking at $11, very quickly go up to $11.50. So let's just say you're going to be paying, we'll be conservative, we'll say $11.25 a pack. So remember, 216 packs, whoops, 11.25 times 216. You're paying $24.30 just to try to buy 216 packs off a TCG Player. Granted, I paid more than this. I paid $2,600, so a little bit more than that, but I'm getting packs that I feel confident in. I know they're in a sealed case, where there's some people that think you can weigh them, you can tamper with them. I don't think people are really doing that too much, to be honest, but there is just a little bit more security on having an entire sealed booster box. So I thought that for the price that I paid, when I looked at how much it's going to take to buy 216 packs off the open market on TCG Player, I was happy with that price. I think that is a more than fair premium to pay versus a lot of other Destined Rivals. Let's take a look at Destined Rivals real quick. That is the most egregious maybe one of the most egregious in ultra modern sets for price per pack versus sealed booster cases. Let's see. Booster pack. So the booster packs, again, let's say 875 average is pretty deep quantity right there. So 875 times 216. Whoop, that's not right. $8.75 times 216. You're going to be paying $18.90 to get 216 loose packs versus if you go to Destined Rivals booster box case. These things are incredibly expensive. Yep, look at that. $3,364. Look at that premium that they are putting on the Destined Rivals booster box case. Granted, there's probably, no one knows how many booster box are booster box cases are out there, or booster boxes of Destined Rivals versus Paldea Evolved. But I think in the future there's going to be more Destined Rivals booster boxes. I know that's a hot take, but it's just too new of a set for them to not reprint booster boxes at some point, in my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but that comes to the next point of Destined Rivals for that booster box case is there's going to be a lot more time for them to print it. And let me go back to just the full screen. Paldea Evolved is coming to the end of its in-print cycle this year, I think in April, where it's the early Scarlet and Violet block. And I don't think that they're going to be printing any more booster boxes. I think what is out in the market right now is going to be all there ever is. I don't think Pokemon's going to go back to SV2 and print more booster boxes. I don't see them doing that. I think they're having a hard enough time keeping up with the current demand, and their demand just isn't quite there for SVO2 anymore, and that's fine. I do think that this was one of the more popular sets of early Scarlet and Violet. Obviously, 151's top dog, but I think that this one, there was a lot of it ripped, and it was very cheap for a very long time, so I think a lot of this product has been ripped open on rip and ships, just people enjoying the product, versus when I look at the new Scarlet and Violet, I think there's quite a bit more being set back. But again, granted, there is a lot more demand for that, and there's more Destined Rivals being ripped today than there is Paldea Evolved. And that's fine. I'm totally going to be okay with that. But when I look at this product and the price that I paid for it coming to the end of its life cycle, I think that it is regarded as one of the better or probably the best booster box set from early Scarlet and Violet. So I think there's going to be demand. Like the set overall, it's never been one that I've just been blown away by, but it does have a Magikarp that's $300 raw and like $3,000 in a PSA 10. So it does have that like lottery chase where if you hit that Magikarp and you want to go out and chase it, like there's a pretty, well, there's not a good chance you're going to get a 10, but there's a decent enough chance that you're going to pull it, and then you can send it in for grading and hope for a 10. And again, that having that really high chase in Paldea Evolved, I think is going to have people wanting to pull it for, or open it for quite a while. And again, Magikarp isn't my most favorite Pokemon, but it's a relatively popular one, and I think there's going to be people chasing it. And let's just look at the top set list real quick. Here's Paldea Evolved, most expensive to least expensive cards. So, I mean, you can see what the chases will be. Magikarp, market price $278. Let's make sure that we are looking at near mint. Yep. So Magikarp, market price $278. Has a Raichu, relatively popular Pokemon. Tyranitar, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Mousehold, like, it's fine. This is kind of where I don't know my confidence in the set long term, but does have an Iono that's really popular. Does have a Tinkatunk that's $35. Chi-Yu, Fuecoco, Sprigatito, Meryl, like... It does have all the starters and really nice artworks. Does have the legendaries. Like, I think there's going to be enough people wanting to rip this open for a while that there's chase there, and people are going to be chasing these cards. But again, look at how many cards are over like $20. So Chin Pao, like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 cards in this set that are over $20. And when booster packs are $10, like obviously these are pretty hard to chase, but there's chase in the set that makes sense for the dollars. So I think that's something that lends this set into being opened up over time. And overall, I think that it's popular enough that it's going to do well and be opened. And as the supply just dries up on the market, I think that these booster packs, booster boxes, and booster box cases will go up over time. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Will this be the best investment of 2026? Short answer, no, probably not. I really think 151, if bought at the right price, will be the best investment of 2026. I think there's a very good chance that those packs are $25 or $30 by the end. But for right now, with where we are, like I saw the price of this booster box and I or the booster box case, and I thought that it was a right price that I wanted to pick it up. So let me know in the comments, am I crazy? Am I on the right track? Do you have other investments that you're making? I'd love to hear about it. So with that, I need to get this out to long-term storage, so I've got things to do. I'm sure you do too, so get after it and have a good one.